What is good, guys? My name's Archery. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am going to be going over my week 1 matchup in the BJL season 5 against my man Modractus, aka Butters. Very nice guy, good battler, but his draft is a little unfortunate, and you'll see why in a second. But yeah, welcome back to the channel. If you guys already haven't seen, my full draft breakdown is on the channel. I uploaded it a few days ago. Sorry I haven't been active lately. I've been waiting for week 1 to end so I can upload my thought process and just out of respect for other players. So yeah, here I am. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to walk you guys through how I prep for games in this league. I take it very, very seriously. Even though it's just a game, I still, I'm a competitor, and I love being competitive, and I love winning. It's one of the best feelings that I can have personally. I love winning, but I always try and be nice. I'm never really disrespectful. So that's why I wait until the end of the week to upload, my team recap and stuff. So enough talk. Let's just get right into it. So I'll show you guys how I prep. I have a chart here on slides, and it shows every single one of my mons. It shows min speed. So like if it's quiet and it has 0 speed IVs, that would be the stat for speed. And I do this just to have a mental note in my head, which ones are the fastest and whatnot. And just in case I ever need it during a match, I can calc it, or I just have it available. It's good information to have, especially in Draft League when it's all about preparing for your opponent, not necessarily laddering. So yeah, let's get right into it. So min speed, no speed investment. So like if it's like a neutral nature, or if it's a nature that doesn't affect speed, that's the speed stat. And then let's say it's like 252 adamant or 252 modest, that would be the stat in the third column. And then in the last column it would be max speed, which is 252 and like jolly or timid. So yeah, that is literally how I prepare each week. That's how I start off. What mons he has and which mons naturally outspeed his. I take a very big mental note to that. And the other way I prep is pretty simple, but it's a lot more complicated than it looks. I have a small chart here of my team, and it's stab. Okay, so like stab typing, right? If it's stab typing is super effective against any one of his Pokemon, then I put a 1 right next to it. And I put a 1 for each Pokemon that its stab is super effective against, if that makes sense. And I do the same for his team against his or her team against mine. So right here, as you can see, if you look through, you automatically see that glaring 8 at the bottom with Lapras. That was really, really shocking to me. Also, if you look, he has a Magikarp and Feebas, and I am not 100% sure about that bet that took place, but it was between Mod and Prologo, who's another fantastic player in the league. Shout out to Prologo. Made a bet on something, I'm not really sure, and he had to use Magikarp and Feebas for Season 5. So, quite unfortunate for him, but he drafted a pretty strong team, in my opinion, and we had to prep for it like it was any other game, even though he has a Feebas and Magikarp. Which is also interesting that I took note of. Feebas gets Rain Dance, and he has no Rain Setters on his team. And with that Barraskewda, that's pretty scary for anybody to prepare for. So, I did some calcs, and first off, I'll introduce the first team member, and that is Lapras. And I'm running physically defensive Lapras with just enough special attack so that Freeze Dry and Ice Shard KOs what it needs to. And I have Rest and Sleep Talk on there just because I feel like a lot of Pokemon that weren't electric types or grass types on his team, which is about half, struggle with dealing with Lapras. So I figured that if I Rest, Sleep Talk, and hit him with a Freeze Dry or an Ice Shard, it would be doing a lot of damage. And plus, having the priority in this game is super, super useful too. So I'm running Choppleberry for the Howlucha. and I did a whole document of calcs for Lapras. You guys can pause the video and read through these. But these are basically all the calcs that I needed to know in order to safely win this game with Lapras. And going into this, I totally expected Lapras to be my win condition because Ice alone hits so many of his Pokemon, like either 6 or 7 alone, if I'm not mistaken, and Water hits a few more, but I figured that Ice Shard, Freeze Dry would be doing more for me, or would be more helpful for me down the line versus Surf and Freeze Dry. And I'm opting for Freeze Dry just because it hits the water types over like Ice Beam or Ice Beam Wind or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty much the win condition of my team. This is what I was building this team around. Rest, Sleep, Talk, Lapras with Ice Shard and Freeze Dry, physically defensive. So yeah, moving on. Water Absorb, obviously, for the Barraskewda, so it can deal with it and beat it one-on-one very easily. Next, I have Specially Defensive, Rotom Heat with the Assault Vest. If you get that nickname reference, you're a G. That's all I'm going to say. Assault Vest, Specially Defensive, so I have a safe switch into Volt Switch or Thunder because he's probably going to run Rain, and I figured you'd run Thunder with that. It just makes sense. And so he, I was totally expecting him to, bring Modractus with like spikes and stuff like that. So I brought Mamoswine, just simple, basic spread. I want to hit everything as hard as I can, and Sash. This was supposed to be a suicide lead. I was just gonna Stealth Rock, and just EQ or Ice Shard, whatever came in. I brought Rock Slide for the Vikavolt. So yeah. Next I have Screen Xatu with just Teleport in recovery, especially defensive, because I wanted another switch into oh my god, I'm blanking. But anyway, especially defensive Xatu was the choice for me. I had the choice of going defensive instead of especially defensive, but I already have so many defensive walls on this team. I thought it would be fine if I just went especially defensive. Next I have physically defensive, Reuniclus, Calm Mind, Trick Room, Psychic. I didn't go Life Orb just because I wanted to make sure that I got those Calm Minds. And I did a few calcs for Reuniclus, and it was basically to account for the bulkiest Pokemon on his team, which were Special Defensive Rotom Fan, and I was assuming Max HP Rillaboom. And after Stealth Rocks, this kills 100% of the time for Rillaboom and has a chance to OHKO for Rotom Fan. But since if I get 3 Calm Minds up anyway, then it won't be able to touch me, so it won't even really matter at that point. And if he comes in once on Stealth Rock, then it kills automatically. So there's that. And then I brought my boy Snackers, Dragapult. Just a simple sub-DD set. Dragon, he has no Fairy type, no Steel type, so Dragon hits everything on his team. And I figured Dragon Darts would be safe, and if there's 2 or 3 Mons left, I would already be faster with Dragon Dance, Life Orb, Outrage, Life Orb, Adamant, Outrage. Not a lot of things in this format can take that aren't Fairy or Steel type. So that's the team. Very standard sets for most of the Mons except for Lapras. I didn't really need to prep as much for this team because I thought my team had the advantage typing wise and move pool wise and speed tier wise, honestly. So yeah, let's just get right into the battle. Alright guys, I'm back. And let's just get right into the battle. I'm going to put it on slow so you guys can hear my thought process during the beginnings of the match. Alright, so he sends out Feebas first. I automatically know he's probably going to go for Rain Dance or a Water move. And this is supposed to be a suicide lead, like I said, so I didn't really care. I'm Sash. He can do whatever he wants. So I go for Rocks, he goes for Rain Dance. And I thought he'd go for a Water move, so I switch out into Lapras, and I made the right read. Great start to this game. I just went for Freeze Dry because I knew it killed Feebas and would hit everything for either super effective or lots of damage. So Manectric was his only switch into a Freeze Dry there. And it's not even a switch in, so he switches in. I think he's going to Volt Switch here, so I go out into my Assault Vested, Specially Defensive Rotom Heat. Do you see how much that does? Later he told me he used Specs, and I was like, wow. So he switches out. So I go for Overheat, trying to catch something coming in, and I do, but the rain, yeah, it decreased the damage by so much. So I either thought he was going to switch out here into something and, you know, try and take a volt switch or whatever the case may be. But he ends up staying in with Modractus and going for spikes, so I make the right read and get spikes on his side of the field. He switches out because he knows what's coming. I'm setting up screens. He should have switched into Feebas there and got a Rain Dance a turn sooner, and he allows me to get both of my screens up, which is huge because then I can go into Reuniclus and use Calm Mind a couple of times and win the game from there. As you can see, he has no option. I reflect for a few more turns. He's doing 28%. That's Life Orb, probably Adamant, Liquidation in the rain coming from Barraskewda, one of the most premier rain sweepers in the format. Huge. The fact that I get to set up here on Barraskewda and just win the game from there because he has no switching and nothing that can kill a physically defensive Reuniclus at +3 special defense, I mean. So, yep, the screens are coming in real clutch here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. We just win the game from here, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Set up Trick Room, and that's the game. I mean, look, I've got 3 turns of Trick Room left, and he can send in the bulkiest ones he wants, but he can't kill Reuniclus even if he survives, and he probably won't because I'm +3. So, yeah, that's going to be the game, man. Shout out to Butters. It's real tough getting 6-0'd week 1, especially in draft league with a bunch of players from the league watching. It must be really embarrassing. I know how it feels actually. In season 1, I was 6-0'd, so that was not fun. I got heckled and I became a meme, and I just hope that doesn't happen to Mod here because he was a really good sport about it. Good friend of mine. I hope he isn't like, you know, butthurt or sad about this. It's just my team had a better matchup, and that's just how the game is. I mean, it's Pokemon. What can you do? So, guys, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my team build and listening to my thought process and listening to my thought process throughout the game. So if you guys like the video, please hit a like on it. I'm trying to grow this channel out as much as I can. I love playing Pokemon with friends, especially Draft League. I'm a competitor at heart, so I love competing. But yeah, no, if you guys like it, please show some support on this. I'm trying to grow. I will leave Butters stuff in the description if he lets me. And that's it. It's been Archery. Have a great rest of the day, guys.